Hey everyone, today on People Now, a popular YouTuber reveals she and her husband rehomed their adopted son who has autism. We have details.
The baby's 9 months old now.
Slater gives us an update about baby life while staying at home.
She might make it to the top of the charts with some of these songs.
Ice Cube getting real about Tracee Ellis Ross' singing voice in their new movie, The High Notes.
I don't know how it works.
The hilarious Patton Oswalt reveals his biggest struggle of teaching his daughter at home and how he is managing to perform stand-up during isolation.
Plus,
I was talking to God last night.
This Is Us star Kristi Metz has new music and new revelations about her character's journey next season.
All that and more today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to People Now. Great to see you. It's Thursday. I'm Jeremy Parsons here in New York. Andrea, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking, Jeremy. I'm Andrea Boehlke here in Wisconsin. We have a really packed show today. Here's what you need to know and what's trending.
The United States has surpassed more than 100,000 deaths due to COVID-19. This makes the U.S. the country with the highest coronavirus death toll of any nation in the world.
According to recent data collected by Johns Hopkins University, as of Thursday morning, there have been 100,442 deaths in the United States, with over 1.7 million confirmed cases. Worldwide, there have been 5.7 million confirmed cases with over 356,000 deaths.
According to the New York Times, the death toll is higher than any number of fatalities from U.S. military combat since the Korean War. It's on track to become the deadliest public health crisis since the 1918 flu.
New York still has the highest death toll in the nation with more than 29,000 deaths. Governor Andrew Cuomo reacted to the news of the death toll on Thursday morning. He tweeted in part, "We lost 100,000 Americans. Each one was loved. Each one will be missed."
According to the CDC, more than 62,000 healthcare professionals in the United States contracted COVID-19. At least 291 of them have died from corona-related illnesses, most likely from caring for other patients.
In an emotional video, YouTuber Myka Stauffer reveals she rehomed her son, who has autism, nearly 3 years after she adopted him. Watch this.
The last couple months have been like the hardest thing I could have ever imagined choosing to do.
In the video posted to YouTube on Tuesday, she and her husband, James, say that they weren't aware of what it would be like to take care of Huxley, who they adopted from China.
The couple explained that Huxley required, quote, a lot more special needs that we weren't aware of and that we were not told. In the video, James says, "We've never wanted to be in this position, and we've been trying to get his needs met and help him out as much as possible. We truly love him." Myka adds that Huxley is, quote, thriving, he is happy, he's doing really well, and his new mommy has medical professional training, and it is a very good fit.
The couple asked subscribers to honor their privacy and say that they won't be going into further details about why they made the decision to place their son with another family. On Wednesday, Myka changed her Twitter bio to say that she only had 4 children instead of 5.
In September, Myka had shared a YouTube video to update her fans on Huxley's 2-year adoption anniversary. In the beginning of the video, she said, "If you were on my channel and you were here for the Huxley content, give this video a thumbs up."
Many Twitter users have criticized her for using Huxley in monetized content. For an ad in June of 2018, Myka posted a photo of herself with Huxley on Instagram. In that caption, she wrote, "We've had so many bumps along the way, but it's by far one of my favorite journeys I have ever embarked on. I love everything about this little boy, and I wouldn't trade him for anything."
Love and hip-hop star Metis Idol, aka Salome, wants justice for her 17-year-old sister, Giselle Gigi Rengifo, who was shot and killed Monday night at a rented Airbnb.
According to WPLG in Miami, Giselle suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. 4 people were questioned, and the death was considered the result of an accidental discharge of a handgun. According to an arrest report obtained by the outlet, 17-year-old Michael McGowan said he was holding the gun when it fired. The Miami Herald reports that he's been charged for manslaughter with a deadly weapon.
However, Idol and her family do not believe it was an accident and allege Giselle was murdered. Idol has started the hashtag Justice for Gigi and shared multiple posts on Instagram to shed light on the case, urging authorities to take a closer look.
In one post, she alleges that the Miami police are, quote, trying to let the person who killed my 17-year-old sister get away with it.
In another post, Idol alleges the kids at the Airbnb are covering up the truth.
The Miami Police Department did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. During a news conference on Thursday, the Miami police chief said that the death could be attributed to children being at home during the coronavirus pandemic and having access to deadly weapons in their house.
All right, switching gears now on a more positive note to this.
I caught up with Amanda, Peet, and Christian Slater ahead of their new show, Dirty John, the Betty Broderick story, and they shared with me how they're spending this isolation period. Let's just say they are having very different experiences. Watch. Number one thing you're doing to pass the time during quarantine?
Drinking.
What's the drink of choice, Amanda?
Wine, tequila, you name it.
Okay, just alcohol.
Yeah.
And how about you, Christian?
Well, my wife and I did just have a baby, so spending a lot of time. The baby is 9 months old now, and spending a lot of time doing all the things you do with a baby. You know,
staying
really.
awake
So that,
a lot.
Staying awake, keeps you very, very occupied. She is a great sleeper, though, I have to say. But
that's good. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I know.
That's a really nice. I have got two, and neither of them slept well, so I'm still getting them years later.
Yeah, there you go.
Big deal.
In a People exclusive back in August 2019, Christian and his wife, Brittany, surprised the world by announcing the birth of their daughter. She's their first child together, but Christian's third. He's also dad to 18-year-old Eliana and 21-year-old Jaden from a previous marriage. And at last summer's Mr. Robot Season 4 premiere, Christian was all smiles as he opened up to Andrea about those baby milestones, including that his daughter was, quote, starting to really acknowledge him and his wife. And she was starting to smile, which Christian called a big deal. So glad to hear they're doing well. We'll have more with Christian Slater and Amanda Peet later on next week, so tune in for that.
All right, moving on to today's story to make you smile, which is all about hope. One Australian animal center reached a major milestone this week in the wake of the country's brutal bushfires that began in September of 2019.
Yeah, this video comes from the Australian Reptile Park in Somersby, Australia. They're showing off their brand new baby koala. It's the park's first to be born since those devastating fires, which experts say killed more than 1 billion animals. In the touching video, human caregivers are seen embracing the mother koala. She reveals the baby from within her pouch. The joey peeks out with its tiny hand on the keeper's palm, opening its eyes to take in the world.
So adorable. And the newborn Joey's name is kind of fitting, given those fires. Keepers decided to name her Ash. The Australian Reptile Park announced the birth in an Instagram post on Wednesday, where they explained that Ash is, quote, a sign of hope for the future of Australia's native wildlife. The Australian Reptile Park announced on Sunday that it plans to reopen on June 1st, following a month-long closure due to the coronavirus pandemic.
All right, stay with us. We are talking with Ice Cube about his new role starring alongside Tracy Ellis Ross in The High Notes. Plus, This Is Us star Kristi Metz has wanted to sing forever. Now she has a new song out. We're going to hear from her all about that. Stick around.
Red Nose Day is back for its 6th year with Walgreens, and to tell us all about it and how we can get involved from home, we spoke with the neighborhood's Max Greenfield, who is partnering with the campaign. Take a look.
It's really exciting. I was so happy to be a part of it this year. I had always thought it was exclusive to people on NBC for so long. And I was like, look at these, they get to do all this cool stuff. And for the longest time, I had been on Fox, and I was like, I guess we just don't do that. Walgreens is incredible how they partner with. Yes.
Are gonna be with me in like 1 minute?
Come here, say hello.
Are gonna be with me?
Come say hello.
Are gonna be with me in like 1 minute?
Maybe. Come here. Do you know what Red Nose Day is?
What?
It's good. You get a red nose and you get to donate money to people to help children.
Yay.
Yay. That's a perfect reaction. It's funny. I think Red Nose Day so much. It comes around every year, and you see people with the noses, and you see people doing and you're not really aware of like exactly what it is. And it's such an incredible organization. You know, they are raising all this money that goes to these charities that already have infrastructure, and it goes to helping kids who need it. It helps them, you know, just with basic needs. You know, sheltering kids, feeding kids, educating kids, keeping them safe. So it's, I mean, as far as charity goes, it's really one of the least complicated and no-brainers that there is. I guess you can go to Walgreens in the past and you can get your nose and you buy it and put it on or whatever, you make your donation. And this year, so you don't have to go to Walgreens and you can stay at home, they have these apps, you know, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. When you donate, you can download the filter for the red nose. We got it on Instagram and it's really fun. A bunch of the noses drop down from the sky. And it kept my son entertained for at least 12 minutes. And I gotta say, any amount of money at this point to keep him entertained for 12 minutes is worth it.
While sheltering at home with his wife and 2 kids, we wanted to know how Max has been adjusting to this new normal. Here's what he said.
You know, look, it's a lot of family time. It's a lot. It's a lot of family time. We're trying to find shows that we can all watch together. Not doing a great job. The Neighborhood's a great example of a show that we all watch together, but we're out of those episodes. It's tough because our son is 4 and our daughter's 10. So their tastes, they have conflicting tastes. So, and they never want to agree with one another. So, if, you know, my daughter's watching one thing and my son's watching another, like, it's just, they never like, let's do this together.
Max has been homeschooling his daughter Lily, and he reveals to us how it's really going. And I'm sure a lot of parents out there can relate.
The homeschooling is not going great, but it's more on my part than it is on hers. I just don't know how to do this, and she knows that, and she's taking advantage. So maybe it's both. You know, it's not a great fit in terms of teacher and student, but we're getting it done. But I will say, you know, on a general level, my son's just gone. We don't even. He runs around the backyard and, you know, eats bark off the trees and stuff. But with my daughter, it's been interesting because a lot of this has given sort of us an opportunity to really discuss, you know, look, it's you want to prolong your children growing up as long as you can. But this is a very, like, you know, grown-up situation that's happening. A lot of the homeschool has been, you know, discussing this, and then opportunities like Red Nose Day and you know, what Walgreens is doing, and there's been a couple other opportunities that we've been able to take part in, and just giving back in general. And, you know, the Instagram stuff has been really nice because we've gotten so much feedback from teachers and from parents and people just who are connecting at a time where everybody feels really alone. You know, we're able to really talk about what's happening now and in a reasonable, responsible way that she can, you know, somewhat wrap her head around. And I think the big disconnect is not, it's not so much that the work is hard or like I don't know math, which, you know, I don't. My daughter is really great with teachers and professionals who she's been told that these are your teachers, and she does well with those people and does well with authority figures. She does not view me as that. And she can't make the adjustment. I'm literally just, Dad. I'm like, no, right now, that can't be your reaction to, you know, writing a descriptive paragraph. It can't be, Dad, I don't want to do this. And then I get frustrated, and then and then you're like, this is the worst.
Damn, the girls still give me goosebumps.
Well, Grace, have you thought any more about the Vegas residency?
Actually, I think it's time I record a new album.
I mean, that's one plan.
The High Note is a musical comedy drama starring Tracy Ellis Ross and Ice Cube. Ice Cube is no stranger to the music industry, of course, and he shared with me what drew him to this film and what he loves about his character. Take a listen.
Anytime you can show the music business and have a unique take on what's going on, it's not a biopic, so that was kind of cool to not have to adhere to somebody's life. Right. And to really see behind the curtain. You know, I thought the most interesting aspect of the movie is to see what a person like Maggie has to go through to work for somebody like Grace Davis. Many people want to work for their favorite stars, but do you really? Do you really? So it was cool to see that. People wonder about that. Here it is on screen. Having a guy like Jack who's, you know, they've been around the corner with each other. They've started from the bottom to the top, and he's just ready to cash in on all this, you know, these years of work.
Like many, Ice Cube didn't really know Tracy could sing. He actually admits he wanted to hear a few notes from her before signing on to the movie. Watch this.
First thing I wanted to hear was demos. I'm like, I need to hear demos. And
before I sign off.
If the singing ain't right.
Yeah.
But I'm here, so obviously the singing is great.
It was great. It was great. And I threw out to her, a collab with you. It seems obvious at this point. You and Tracy. She said that seems like what the world needs. So
who knows? Right now we're gonna sell this movie and never know what's gonna happen. She might make it to the top of the charts with some of these songs, and then I'll get her on a verse or two.
Yeah, there you go. Tracy Ellis Ross told me that she was excited to meet Ice Cube, and the feeling was mutual. He admits he's always been a big fan of hers and was honored to work with her.
See her step into this role with such ease. It's like she's been, doing performance movies forever. So I was just amazed at how talented she really is and that she was hiding this amazing voice from us.
Actress Dakota Johnson also stars in the film. She plays Tracy's overworked assistant. Ice Cube's character has to pick on her a bit. He tells me what it was like between the two of them when the cameras stopped rolling.
She's extremely nice. Dakota was able to take the wrath of Jack pretty well. After certain scenes, I would have to just go up and say, we cool, don't worry about it. This is just making sure that, she knew it was just acting. And so, she's brave. She was able to stand there and still deliver. And so it's just an amazing performance. I still picture her as Maggie, now, not Dakota.
All right, guys, you can watch The High Note when it premieres on demand this Friday, May 29th.
Like all of us, comedian Patton Oswalt is just trying to figure out his new normal, from doing stand-up shows on his front lawn to homeschooling his daughter. When we hopped on a video call together, he told me all about how he's handling isolation. Take a look.
Like millions of parents out there, you're currently homeschooling your daughter, Alice. What's been the toughest subject for you?
Oh God, math, because when she comes to me for help, I can't clearly, what I have discovered is my math knowledge ends at just before the 4th grade. Because my daughter's in 4th grade and she brings me stuff and I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to multiply fractions and I'm completely confused. And plus, the methods that I know for division, multiplication, they have different methods now. There's a Singapore-style math. There's a bar type stuff. I don't know how it works. I'm showing her my clanky early 80s version. It's sad. It's really sad. It's like an Amish person trying to help someone build a website. I'm just completely
You did some stand-up on your property?
All right, folks. Thanks for staying in tonight. I hope you guys are isolating and securing in place. Wow, this COVID-19, I tell you. I don't know I didn't see COVID 1 through 18, so I don't really know what this is all about.
It was just before the lockdown, and I was visiting a friend to make sure that they were okay, and then we just said, oh, why don't we just shoot? My wife was like, let's just shoot this right in the, so she was the cinematographer. That was her stepmom and dad were down the street. Like she framed it so perfectly of me, like kind of trying to yammer and do this stuff.
You're also doing a hibernation challenge. We saw that Chris Maloney's participating. Where was the inspiration for that?
It was because starting on May 1st, I just kind of stopped shaving, and after a couple of weeks, I started going, oh, wow. And then I let myself just grow a beard and do no grooming for a month to see what it looked like. And I just looked so crazy. And as you see, I went ahead and shaved only because the beard, I don't grow a nice, like Chris Maloney's beard comes in thick and luxurious and looks good. I looked like a crazed moonshiner. It was all coming, like it was so scratchy and awful. And my daughter was like, I can't hug you, Daddy, the pokies, because it comes in, it's like copper wire. It's so gross. So I finally went nuts. I was like, sweetie, I'm shaving. I'm going crazy. And she went, fine, but then let me give you a haircut. And my wife gave me this amazing haircut.
It looks good.
And I have a feeling that my wife is going to be doing my haircuts from now on because this came out really nice.
you know and love Kristi Metz just like we do as one of the stars of This Is Us. She was also featured last month in People's Most Beautiful issue with some incredible stories about finding peace and beauty in times of uncertainty. And she's here with us to talk about her brand new song, which we love. Let's take a quick listen.
I was talking to God last night about why things happen the way they do.
Kristi, I love it. And I was just saying to you, by the way, okay, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
And I was just saying, I'm getting Shania Twain vibes with that.
And I don't
absolutely love
mind.
it.
I don't mind because I love me some Shania for sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's really exciting to be doing music that, you know, I've wanted to do forever, literally since I could remember or really even mutter a song. So yeah, it's really it's exciting to have it out in the world.
Sure. Yeah, we can now all kind of get into it. And I was just telling you before this, my wife and I had it on repeat. We were jamming out to it. It hits all the right notes, literally and figuratively, whatever. Nope, I didn't mean to say it that way because it was such a stupid pun.
No.
Before we talk about the song, though, how are you and your family? How's everyone doing in self-isolation?
Yeah, you know, Donnie and I, thank goodness, we're in Nashville. We've been here since March. And thank goodness that he and I are together because we are definitely keeping each other sane. And my family's good, thank goodness. And we've just been, you know, staying home, staying low, being safe. It's important, you know, it's really important. So we're hanging in there. We're doing good.
Yesterday, I talked to Rob Gronkowski, and he learned to juggle while in isolation. Have you learned any new special skills, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I just started. I'm on a 7-day streak on my Duolingo for Italian.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, la donna and la ragazza. I feel like I'm ready, guys. I can say the women and the girls. I am ready. I am fluent.
Now, as soon as we can open back up and get to Italy on a trip, you're going to be good to go.
Honestly, it's been on the bucket list. So I just wanted people to like not sound silly if I go, you know?
Of course, that makes sense. So, Talking to God is the name of the track. Tell us about the meaning behind the song.
Yeah, so I didn't have a hand in writing it. It was found at Ashton McBride Writers Retreat. But when my manager sent it to me, just to sort of listen, because I love to listen to new songs that have been written, I fell in love with it. And it made so much sense for me to tell the story because I've lived it. You know, I think we all have, that we think about people who are no longer in our lives, or about, you know, making a decision that we regret, or, you know, wishing we would have made a different decision. So yeah, it's just, especially in these times and these uncertainty, you know, I think we're all sort of like looking to something bigger and greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you believe in, you know, that we're sort of just asking like for answers.
It's definitely the right time for this song to come out, for sure.
I couldn't even planned it. I could not have planned it.
Look, I mean, I remember you coming into People Now early on in the This Is Us game. And I remember when you first sang on the show, and it was a big deal that it's like, hey, we're going to hear you really sing. Fast forward, you've now got a record deal with Universal Music Group in Nashville, which is incredible. How much of a goal of it was yours to have, you know, to pursue music, to do music in a legitimate way versus acting?
Well, music was my first love. It was, you know, we said I was making little songs on my boombox in my room at like 9 and 10 years old. And then when I got into middle school and couldn't get into band because my mom couldn't afford an instrument, I was like, oh, I guess I'll join the choir. And it just like made me happy, you know, to use my voice that way. And it's very cathartic music, as we all know, very healing. And it was always something I wanted to pursue. And I actually auditioned for my first manager with a song, but she was like, let's focus on comedy and acting. And I was like, what? Okay. So, and that's the thing, is like, I was always the entertaining diplomat of my family and loved to tell stories and be silly, but I love music just wholeheartedly. So to have the ability to do that now and not live out of my car, like a lot of aspiring, struggling actors, singers, musicians, is such a gift. And so I'm just so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, it's thrilling. And what's great about it is, as I was saying, when we turn it on and listen to it, it's just like, yeah, you were meant to do this too. It just absolutely works. Let's go back a few months. You had this powerful performance, I'm Standing With You, from Breakthrough at the Oscars. Mind-blowing. For me, even, just watching, like, wow. What was that moment like for you? Take us back to that as you now think.
You know, it's interesting. when I performed at the ACMs, like there's all this country royalty, and these are singers who've been doing this all their life, and then you're in front of actors, and some actors who are incredible singers, and you're like, okay. But then I have to just remind myself, like, Kristi, everybody puts their pants on the same way you do.
Yeah.
And they're rooting for you, and if they're not, it's okay too. Like, I just have to separate myself and just be present. And really, you know, I was thinking about my mom when I was singing the song, and it was really for her and obviously for Joyce Smith and John Smith, who the movie Breakthrough was about. And so,
right.
you know, it was, I mean, intimidating, but we had a lot of rehearsals, thank goodness. It's just so funny, like people never know what like really goes on behind the scenes. And the little thing that twists up, I almost didn't make my mark in time. Like I had to haul Boogie over to the mark.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh my gosh, am I in here? Like, you know, there's all these things that go on. So, especially with live television, but it was wonderful. It was a really cool experience.
And it's so funny that from our perspective, it's like, oh, maybe you're thinking about the nerves. In reality, you're thinking about 1,000 technical things. And then hopefully you can just sink into the moment, right?
Yeah, hopefully you remember the words.
Or you just pull a John Travolta and you don't remember the words and you say Adele Dazeem.
You just do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. Yeah. So you're also hosting this daily Facebook live stream, The Dreamers. You're telling these stories of the musical journey and things. Tell us about that and why you're doing it.
Yeah, so I've always wanted, I mean, I think Facebook groups are super cool, and it's a great way for like-minded people to kind of get together and just chat and like feel safe and also share what they're going through, and especially now. And so many people find so much joy in Donnie and I's, not only friendship, but like the shenanigans we get into. So sometimes we play games in the group. Sometimes we just chit chat, we answer questions, or we have conversations about just like real life, like how are y'all handling this quarantine stuff? So it's just a way for me to connect. And because I miss that face-to-face connection, I'm like, oh, how can a Facebook group.
Right. So, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for the extroverts among us, this is a very trying time for different reasons, right? Like, just need to connect. Give me some socializing.
Yeah.
Back to acting a bit. This is us. Obviously, things up in the air right now. COVID-19, everything's postponed, industry-wide, whatever. But in terms of where we move forward with the story, do you have any glimpses, any teases?
Well, I know that there is a story, a through line coming down the pike about some experiences that shaped Kate as a woman, as an adult, that we haven't seen yet. And I remember Dan giving me a call, and he's like, how do you feel about this? Like, are you going to be able to tackle this? And how are you going to feel about it? And I'm like, no, let's do it. I think it's super important. So while I won't give away what it is exactly, it's something we haven't seen and we had no idea that Kate went through. So
sounds like we're talking about trauma.
Oh, it's trauma for sure.
You're also doing something with Walmart. Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm excited, guys. Okay, it's really cool. Like I, get to sort of curate what I liked on the Walmart.com website, and I'm like, ooh, and I'm always about like the vintage floral and the colors and all that jazz. I love floral, and so I got to choose. What my favorite dresses were.
So it's like you can go to Walmart, you can get the clothes, you can also swing by and get your music probably over there in the electronics aisle.
Yes,
hello.
Yes. Exactly.
Kristi, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. It's great to catch up. I'm excited for you as a fan, and I really appreciate you taking some time for us. Coming up tomorrow, Molly Bernard reveals how her younger co-stars, Sutton Foster and Hilary Duff, helped prepare her for her new movie.
Plus, Tamar Braxton and Michelle Obama's hairstylist, Johnny Wright, are looking to end all hair mishaps on their new series, To Catch a Beautician. They're telling us all about it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, guys.